And I mean, the thing with it is, though, I didn't really want to do segments talking about all of Trump's cabinet picks just for being insane or whatever, if that is the case, because that would be like half the show. So I'm not going to do that. But I figured I did want to do one on this guy since he is actually not only crazy, but also potentially a white supremacist. So that's nice, I guess. So this guy, Darren Beattie, was a speechwriter for Trump during his first term, and now he's being appointed to acting undersecretary of state for public diplomacy, pending approval by the Senate. And now, like most people, I never really heard of this guy before. I didn't really know who he was or what he was doing, but he seems to be quite the pick for a few reasons. So, first of all, CNN did some digging into Darren's past here and found that in 2016, he delivered a speech at the H.L. Mencken Club, which was designated by, I don't remember what organization, but it was designated as a white nationalist hate group. So that's not exactly a great look to start off giving a speech there, but we're actually just getting started here. There's more to mention about this guy. So anyway, according to the website Comic Sans, Beattie defended his remarks, but the Trump White House fired him after CNN's coverage of the story. So I don't know. I guess they couldn't have been too pleased with him if they're going to fire the guy, but whatever. I mean, I guess maybe there's an argument that it wasn't that bad that people might try to make, but anyway, moving on. If that was the end of it, maybe someone can make the case it's not that big of a deal and that we should ignore him and leave it alone. Like, whatever. I mean, everyone makes mistakes. I mean, I never made the mistake of speaking to white supremacists, but whatever. But everyone makes mistakes. I get the point. But if that was the end of it, maybe I could do that. But it's not. In July 2024, Darren made a tweet that said if China took over Taiwan, it, quote, might mean fewer drag parades in Taiwan, but otherwise it wouldn't be the end of the world. Yeah, I mean, this guy is going to have a hand in our national security potentially, so saying that about Taiwan is not exactly a great look. I mean, I know this is America, not Taiwan, but still, it's making comments implying China taking over a country is probably not a great look. And also, in addition to that, he also seems to be a fan of conspiracy theories. When in September 2024, again according to Comic Sans, he suggested the U.S. intelligence community was more likely to be responsible for Trump's assassination than Iran. And then he also called the January 6th insurrection attempt a setup. I don't really know exactly what the evidence for this is, but yeah, whatever. Not exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer, it seems like, as a outsider observing the situation. So that's all that's pretty bad already. But the thing that he's kind of gotten mega screwed for that he said is when he said something in October. So it wasn't even that far off from the election. It was like 2 weeks from the election, if I remember correctly. He tweeted, quote, competent white men must be in charge if you want things to work. Unfortunately, our entire national ideology is predicated on coddling the feelings of women and minorities and demoralizing competent white men. Yeah, I don't know really how some people can look at this and not see how this dude is just disqualified. I mean, apparently there's enough for him to get nominated though, so I don't know. I don't know what he's done that makes up for all this, but he can still get nominated for stuff. And I mean, frankly, I mean, where the hell do you even get that idea from? I mean, have you not seen one competent woman or not white person in your entire life? I mean, yeah, I mean, when people are this far gone that they want to say stuff like that, there's no real reason to reason with them. But I mean, I just thought I should ask. I know it's like a stupid thing to say to just be like, why are people racist, or why are people misogynistic or whatever? Because it's structurally not built on sound ground to be like that. So there's really no reason to question why are people like that. But still, I mean, it's not. How do you get to that point where you're to that level? Where you're saying that if someone's not a white man, you don't trust them to run things. I mean, come on. Well, anyway, Darren's publication did respond to this whole crazy controversy, actually, saying, and again, according to Comic Sans, his appointment is, quote, a real blow to the same smug hacks who love slapping the conspiracy theorist label on anyone who challenges their narrative. Well, like you got really addressed everything and fixed it. I mean, that's not at all the biggest problem here, the conspiracy theories. Well, maybe it's one of them, but, get to the rest on your own time. I'm sure you guys are busy with something, thinking of ways to get him through the Senate, which could not be an easy task. So I guess it's something that is going to take a long time. So I guess work on that, get your priorities straight. But yeah, and also it's not that we think he's a conspiracy theorist. It's just that some of that is conspiratorial, saying things about believing that the federal government is more likely to kill Trump than I mean, then Iran, is a conspiracy theory, isn't it? And that January 6th was a setup. I mean, are those not? I mean, not every conspiracy theory is wrong, but those are conspiracy theories, are they not? And I think it's also important to point out, to be fair, maybe people are making too big of a deal out of it in the sense that it's not like he has exactly a high-ranking job. I mean, it's not like he's vice president or anything like that. But again, I mean, I think I've mentioned this point before. I was talking about a different Trump nominee, but are there not enough like good Republican politicians to fill these roles? I mean, do you guys have to pick a bunch of guys who have crazy quotes like this, or talking about competent white men need to be in charge? I mean, the Republicans have a majority in both houses of Congress. I know choosing someone from the House of Representatives would be a bad idea, probably because the Republicans have a majority of two, but in the Senate they have a majority of three or so, and there's only 100 senators, and there's plenty of Republican senators you could choose from red states where if you select them, they'll get replaced by another Republican. You don't need to be scraping the bottom of the barrel for appointees. You don't have that small majorities and things, but whatever. I guess that's what they got to do. Uh, but anyway, apparently, according to Comic Sans, once again, last time I'm using them as a source for this, the State Department has not clarified whether or not Beattie will be undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy longer than when he serves in the acting position. And if I'm going to make a prediction right now, I mean, I think he'll serve longer. In fact, I mean, I don't want to give anything completely away, but I think I know who the next Republican presidential nominee is. I mean, I'm just going to leave it at that, but draw your own conclusions of what comes next for Darren.